Divine Spirit and gracious Creator, we're all here to open ourselves up unconditionally to your divine assistance and continued direction. As well as receiving your healing and guidance, we are fully open and ready to receive and notice signs and blessings. We are truly grateful and thank you. Amen. Please settle your minds and focus on your crown chakra. And when you are ready, open it for Spirit to supply you with its source of energy. As it enters your crown chakra, allow it to rebalance all your chakras, starting with the crown chakra, moving on to the brow chakra, down to the throat chakra, onto the heart chakra, and working its way down to the solar plexus chakra. Carry on further down to the sacral chakra and then down to your root chakra. Allow the spirit energy source to visit all your minor chakras to maximize our potential in this circle. Let the energy settle in your body. And when you are ready, move your focus back to your heart chakra and start linking with all other members of this circle unconditionally. Set your intentions on the task we agreed, please, to maximize our ability to make the links to spirit that we need to achieve. We have come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. I would like to start by introducing members of our circle. My name is Neil, and with me today is Pam and Adrian and Donna. I would like to welcome all members of the Spirit Circle and thank you all for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy levels sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focusing and offering you the opportunity to link through us. Please link directly through your choice of medium. And if you are happy to link through another medium at the same time as another soul from Spirit does, please do so, please. Where possible, we would respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link through either a sense of doing so, or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle, and with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we do look forward to making the connection to the spirit circle. When we have achieved that, could you confirm when you are ready for questions to be put to you, please? And peace be with you all as well.
Thank you for my brothers and sisters for letting us join you again.
It is a pleasure. You're very welcome. Do you need more time to blend?
No, the blending has worked well this evening.
Good. Thank you.
You should be able to feel the healing this evening as well.
Well, I certainly can.
There are tingles and feelings you should all feel on your left. My name is Drago.
Do you say Drago?
Drago.
Thank you. Welcome. As you know, my name is Neil. So is it
Yes,
okay to start asking you questions?
It is.
Okay, thank you. As you know, we tend to present you with random questions on a series of subjects. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I know what I'm letting myself in for.
Oh, it's not that painful. Okay, I'll start then. Okay, thank you. Are things ever achieved by making a random choice? What's your view on that?
The choice may seem random to you, but is it? That is the question. This could be a thought that's been put in by the guide or your higher self. But even if it is random, there's always something achieved out of it.
Even if it's just a personal whim?
Yes, because you will still learn from it.
Okay.
You might do it and regret that you did it, or it was
Okay.
the wrong time to do it. But on the other hand, you might have been debating, randomly choose to do it, and it'd be the best thing you ever did.
Okay, leading on from that then, is tossing a coin as good as any way to make a decision?
Yes, we did many things like this
Okay.
when I was alive. There is no harm in it. A choice has to be made one way or the other. If you want to put it on a double-sided element, then that is the choice.
I know sometimes when we've done it, if you don't like the answer, you say, oh, out of 3. It's just an excuse because you didn't like the
So you
right
always come
side
to the
comes up.
answer in the end anyway.
Okay. Makes sense. Why should we trust something or someone that we don't actually understand?
You don't have to trust, just believe. It's the faith within you and your instinct as well.
Yeah, okay.
This comes from your soul within that helps you. This is experiences that it has to allow you to pick up on those that you trust. Sometimes it is not quite right, but you don't learn if you don't do it wrong.
Oh, that makes sense. I get that. Can there ever be too many signs given that actually cause confusion to those that see them? Do you have to be selective?
What do you mean by the signs, Neil?
Feelings, intuition, messages from spirit?
At first, they can be confusing, but if you notice, they do come in at one at a time,
Yeah.
and then gradually they are added to as you learn. Sometimes it's to test, to see which strength becomes of them, but it unsettles you. Some of you have been feeling this when you are doing your mediumships.
Okay, that's
You
a good
start with
analogy.
one thing,
Yeah.
it changes, then you get something else, unsettles you, then it settles back down. Then maybe it changes back again, or moves forward and gets something else, or you have two things. It is to help to see which one that you become more comfortable with.
Okay.
You have also had a change recently, and you've noticed this.
Yeah.
And you're also going through the change as well.
I do sense that. Yeah.
There are energies around at the moment that are changing. Just go with it. Don't fight it. If it means that you have to take how you might feel it as a step backwards, don't be worried. It will all be for the good. Make you stronger.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will try and do that.
One of your more modern sayings would be to relax into it.
Yeah. Okay.
In my days, it would be get on with it.
That sounds more relevant to my age group.
You're not quite as old as me, Neil.
How old are you then?
Let's just say, when I hit the shores of Scotland on our long ships, that was my last life.
Does that suggest you were a Viking?
Yes. I did come in the other week, but I think Adrian was not ready for me that evening.
Okay. Yeah, there was one, wasn't there? We thought someone else was going to come and it didn't happen. Well, you've made it now, which is great.
I have been putting my foot forward to come into this.
What
I am
made you do
glad
that?
I have
What?
sat.
Yeah.
I have sat and watched since the group began.
Yeah.
And there are so many of us that are on our own journeys, and this group allows us to further our journeys and our experiences. We can connect differently. It also helps that we are all part of our family.
Okay.
There are a few outsiders that come in that are not, say, one of your guides, but maybe a helper that comes and passes. But there are many others.
Do others still come to watch?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
It is like one of your TV soaps. Once you're hooked, you daren't miss an episode.
Oh dear.
It brings us together as well. Sometimes we're just too busy doing our own things, and this allows us also to rejoin in our own group, to join with your group. The family comes back together, even though we are all one in spirit.
Yeah.
It is like being back in your clan.
I mean, it's a good feeling. I've no idea how it's all evolved. Long may it continue. From our point
It
of view,
will.
I mean.
It will.
Okay. As a human, can we ever take too much energy, get overloaded?
No. The forces that you will come to know when you pass and come back home, you will realize how little energy really is used in a human vessel. So please ask for as much healing as you need, because it will come.
The problem is sometimes when you take that view, I don't like to think that if someone else needs that healing more than I do, because of the seriousness of what they're going through. It's a bit like being greedy.
But when there are people like you that heal others, that energy is delivered in a different way.
Okay.
So what you take from us to you is different from that you give out.
Well, that's reassuring. That's good.
This is why it blends. We blend ours with yours when we deliver that to where you send it.
Okay. Thank you. To the souls that are suffering, how can we help someone deal with their mental torment? Or is that something they have to deal with and overcome themselves?
If I answer this as the Viking, this would be drink, food, and fighting. If I answer this as pure spirit, the ear to listen, the heart to absorb, and the brain to speak the words that they need, but not necessarily what they want to help. Just be there for them. Try to encourage, but do not force upon, to get them through their turmoil.
You must know that I try to do that, but sometimes not all people seem to want to help themselves.
Sometimes you just can't. But as long as you can do what you can do, even if it is not enough at the time and something happens, there should be no guilt.
Yeah.
Or bad feeling or emotion if something was to happen to that person. You have done as much as you can. But as all humans are, they can always say, you could do more.
Yeah.
That is an unfortunate thing. But this is why we live. Why we come to the earth for that experience of lifetimes.
So in a way, are you confirming that just being around someone can help them, although it's not always noticeable?
Yes.
Okay.
You will absorb their energies. You might feel tired once you've left them.
Yeah.
You know you've absorbed some of their negative energy, their sadness, their grief.
Yeah.
So you have relieved them, because when you've left, you might take a deep sigh, have a cry. You know you've helped them. It just might not be as much the way that you wanted to help them.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll try something different now. How do our pet souls reflect on their lives with their human families when they return to spirit?
It's funny you should say this. There is an otter around this evening,
Okay.
attached to one of your group. Maybe when your group's finished, maybe that you might find where an otter might be significant to one of you.
That intrigues me, so we'll do that.
This would be one of your spirit animals.
Yeah.
They are around this evening as well. This is another unusual thing for us to sit in a circle and also have the animals as well.
What's the purpose of that?
This group is just different. You are a very open, truthful, pure group. And it just attracts the purest. This allows others to come
Okay.
and connect.
Does that suggest that animal souls are purer than?
No, they're just they're just like us.
Okay.
They live their lives differently, but they still have to be mischievous, but kind, caring, and loving.
Yeah.
We see this in some animals, but not in others.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is in all. But when you're in spirit, you can connect with your soul, or soul that was in the pet that you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still around. Again, the mere thought of them, or them of you, you can conjoin and remember those times.
A lot of the times, those memories are very important to us.
There are good times when you have animals involved in your life. even if some lives go and you do not have any pets or interests in animals. There will always be some link through one of your lives.
Yeah. Just a reflection, I think it's probably one of the first experiences of receiving unconditional love, or knowing, truly knowing.
But also giving it, because you're giving it to another life.
Yeah, because you're
not a human.
Yeah, agreed.
Why do some love birds, others love fish?
Yeah.
Some people will have fish as pets, but then eat them as well. Not the pets, but still eat fish.
That's true. Do the spirit souls in nature, something like trees, ever get time out?
Do you mean to do something else?
Yeah.
Now, I do not know much about this, but yes, they would be able to maybe live as something else at the same time.
Okay. All right. I didn't think of that, but okay. In your last life, your Viking life, what did you feel you learned or achieved in terms of your own development?
I was young. I was from a small village. And to sail the seas and go to foreign shores was exciting. But the journey was a trial upon itself. And after some of the things that we did when we landed were not of the kindest. You look back, and for that life was a good life. But when you come to spirit, you see that not all your lives were like that. To live as a Viking was a very violent life.
That's what history tells us.
But we still loved, we still cared. But there was lack of respect for other human beings and other lives. Greed takes upon you. So what I would take from that life was to live it to the full. But looking back now was to show more respect is what is needed for others.
Okay.
Which, as the centuries have gone on, there's not the violence that there once was on the scale that it was once out. When you look back now, the world was full of violence. Considering the population was a lot less.
Yeah. But you might say nowadays there's less physical violence, but some people would argue there's more mental torment or mental violence, if you like.
Yes, there is. This is why the only thing you can do is listen and advise.
Yeah.
Help where you can help.
I know divine law. Sorry, go on.
That's okay, you go.
Okay. I know divine law says, obviously, the human soul, if you like, human personality has to have free will, but why shouldn't spirit interfere when a human soul is clearly out of order and gets pleasure from inflicting mental or physical pain on others or even itself?
There are laws in place before you go.
Okay.
Depends on the time and place of where you visit to become that life. You live these lives to learn and experience as much as sometimes those lives do not feel like much of a life. But I'm sure one of my friends have answered this in the past. Sometimes the human energy, the human will is too strong for that soul. That soul then gets overwhelmed with that energy because it is living that life to learn itself. It is only there to guide that human for its spirit. So unfortunately, that is how it is. But when that life is finished and the souls come to pass to review that life, it is then discussed to see where it went wrong.
I suppose the question was directed at the, albeit minority of situations where the human soul has created such evil reactions, to so many others. It's hard for us to get our mind around it, of why it was allowed to continue.
I understand this.
I'm getting used to the concepts and the answers we've been given, but a lot of people.
You could say that I was one of those in party to when I did the things I did. But because you are living as part of the human, it is the human's life.
Yeah.
You are along for the journey. And that life then is absorbed into you. It is quite a complicated thing.
Yeah. I understand that, I suppose, but when I look back and you think, yeah, historically, history has told us that, and yet it's still going on after all this long time period in somewhere in the world. awful.
All I can say is it becomes clearer
Yeah.
when you pass.
Okay.
It is very confusing and upsetting when you are living your life on earth as you are now. These visions of utopia on earth, where everything is perfect, sound brilliant. But when you see these stories, they never stay that way, do they?
No, they don't. Not at all. Because one of my questions was, is life a fantasy? And should we approach it that way? Maybe that's the way to survive those situations. I don't know.
You could say that, Neil. I've never heard it put that way. This is why we come. Because you test us. You make
Well,
us think.
You test me.
But yes, life is a story in its own right, individually as well as collectively.
Yep.
And stories are fantasies. So you are correct when you look at it like that. You can rewrite your story at any time. People forget this. So the question you have just brought up, or the answer, for people that, as we know, watch these videos that are in a dark place or a sad place in their life, that spark might reunite them when we say that you can change your story at any time. It starts within.
I think you've hit a trigger of mine, because that's why I create some of the questions, hoping that if individuals aren't listening to others, they may hit what I call a light bulb moment for when they watch the video.
Exactly that. And it only takes that one person to watch to make the biggest difference to their life.
But I mean, that applies to all, philosophy that gets passed down. Something somewhere might click with someone and get them back on track.
It is great to live on the earth as your life. But the pleasure of being a guide, for me, is so much better. But some of us just keep on coming back for more, for the experience.
Why do you do that? Because wouldn't you have had enough of it?
My last life was, I think I left the worst choice till last.
Okay.
And that was enough for me. My choice was to come to guide others.
Yeah.
Which I have done many times. I have had few short lives since, but not long lives. I have come to help others on their their soul journeys.
Was that intended in your short life? That was the purpose?
My last full life was my biking life.
Yeah.
I have been back a few more times since, just to help my group, my soul group, my friends on their journeys.
So do you mean by that by playing a part in their life pathway?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you quite a deep question now in a way.
Deep?
I think it was...
These have all been deep, Neil.
I'll give you a mark out of 10 at the end.
I'm going to need some wine when I finish this.
You've just got to imagine that I've been told you can't taste it now.
I could imagine, though.
But I might have a drink later for you.
Okay.
Say cheers. There you go. No, really. When I was talking to Blackwing last week, just when I was writing up the record, as you know I do, I started to interpret something he said, and I may have got it wrong, so I need to ask you. But when you come through and use the body like you're doing of Adrian, or a human, one of the other mediums, are there ever any situations where the human soul or their own higher self can let us think it's someone else speaking, but it's actually them speaking?
So you're saying that, so when we come through,
Yeah.
Adrian is speaking.
Yeah.
But it is me, Drago.
My belief is with Adrian, right? There's a consistency to it, and I believe totally that you made a connection from spirit.
Yes.
But is there any way though that someone could come through initially to another medium, and we would accept at face value that it was someone from spirit coming to talk to us, and it could actually be that individual still talking to us?
Yes. When we come through, we just connect with the energy.
Yeah.
And blend. We just slide in sideways.
Yeah.
He's still here. But we can come in to others, and they might not be sure whether they're thinking it is us or themselves.
Yeah.
It is just trust.
Okay.
So all they need to do is just speak and see what happens.
Okay.
They will soon know.
I suppose what I'm trying to say is they might let you in, or you might blend in, slide in your words, but can they control the verbal conversation that comes out?
Yes, they can if they wish to.
Okay.
Like if they become tired, it is them that internally will say, it is time for us to go.
What if they don't say that? What if they just choose to answer the question?
Do you mean if they answer the question or us?
No, if they answer the question and we think it's you.
Well, you wouldn't tell initially, only if you know that character, what their interests are, or whether they could answer the question. But
okay. Well, to be
That is
honest, that's why they don't know what the questions are. There's only two of us that know what questions we're going to ask, so, or pick from. Okay. Okay, let's change tact again. Okay. On the earth plane, not every human gets on with everyone else. But do all souls get on in spirit, or is it similar?
it is similar, but obviously without the negativity,
Yeah.
or the anger, the frustration.
Okay.
You just accept the other person's opinion, take on their views.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Similar to as you do on Earth, but those bad traits don't exist, don't need to exist.
Yeah. Okay.
We all have our own character, shall we say.
I mean, philosophy has told us that obviously in spirit, you all have access to the same knowledge and everything else, and one another. But I was trying to do was saying that other aspects of it, you meet in your own family groups and your clans or your development groups. So there must
Yes,
be
you are
ways
characters.
Yeah, good.
The great thing is you do not have time. So you can travel great distances and spend as much, I'm going to say this wrong, but spend as much time per se with others. It does not matter.
Okay.
Because there is no rush. There is no getting older or have to be somewhere else. You can enjoy that moment with that, wherever you are, whoever you are with.
Yeah. Okay. That's a plus point. That's a good one. As humans, can we ever be too emotional?
I want to say yes, but some would say no. This is all to do with your conditioning, but also not checking yourself at the right time and releasing the emotions. You harbour too many. You need to release the emotion at the time and move on. This is where the anguish of your mental torture can happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite prevalent. It seems to be quite prevalent in the world at the moment. But
not saying what you think at the time. Some people find it you might be rude or being offensive, but more people could do with just being polite about how they say it, but say it so it's open. Everybody knows where they stand.
Yeah,
but do it in a respectful way.
Yeah, I second that. I understand that. Okay. When does crying not help? I know crying is a release from emotions, but when does it not help?
I am probably the wrong person to ask this question.
Why do you say that?
because many of my lives was a male and crying was not something to do.
Okay.
But as a guide, I try to encourage those to release that emotion when it's necessary and not to harbour it. But if you need to release it, you need to release it. But yes, if you're doing this all the time, that is the point that you need counsel, either from yourself or from others, to understand what is happening. The same with anger. You are always angry. Sadness and anger need to be kept in control.
Yeah.
Laughter is what's needed, and happiness. Try to find joy.
For someone who said they're probably not the right one to answer, I think you were with that answer.
I thank you for that, Neil.
Was that your answer, or was it a combined answer?
This was my answer. But I feel that somewhere that Adrian was assisting.
Oh, great. Okay. Who were the creators of all the different human vessel DNA types? Is there a mix?
Yes, there is a mix. You have a mix on the planet.
Yeah.
From other areas other than your own planet.
Yeah, I understand that.
The main body of your human is of the earth, but is also of other planets.
Yeah, that's been touched on before.
This is why there is such a difference between your civilizations.
Yeah.
This is also why the advancement has not changed. Obviously, the interaction is creating others because they are mixing through the generations.
Okay.
But the earth is far older than people think.
Again, that's the second time we've been told that one.
It has been used many times for many things.
So are we like a laboratory of life? Here on the earth, I mean.
I am allowed to say yes, but can't expand on it further.
No, it's one
But
of
I have
those.
been allowed to say yes.
Well, that'll send me off in another direction, won't it? In due course. Thank you. Try to lighten a few things now. Is there a doppelganger of me on another plane or planet? God forbid,
Yes.
but is there another one of me?
Yes.
I don't know whether I like the sound of that or I don't, but I suppose it depends who's got to deal with me.
You will probably never get to meet your doppelganger, but yes.
Well, if you meet him first, say hello to him for me.
I will.
Okay. When a soul is a free spirit as a child and then loses that characteristic through, life conditioning and the pressures that adulthood brings, how can they retrieve that natural characteristic? Or does it just happen later in life?
It will start to shine, but it depends on when the human accepts, as you all have done, as you have come in to learn, trust, and love spirit. Understand you have soul and how it works. It helps your soul grow and remember its journey
Okay.
to help you with yours. But sometimes this doesn't happen. But once it gets back home and you pass, I will say, the veil of light, you remember who you are.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I've noticed that as we get older, as I've got older, sometimes I regain my childlike humor. I switch from being an adult, responsible, and then become childlike. And I'm not conscious that I've actually thought of doing that. So, and yet I've seen other people my age that have got even older, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it the right way, but
I understand
right.
what you're saying, that when you get older,
Yeah.
as much as people see people as old,
Yeah.
they forget that they was once young.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see that they're trying to regain that youth at the end. You can see it within them. They laugh more.
Yeah.
Maybe than they did when they were in their middle ages of their life.
Yeah.
It is the understanding when they can see they're already, how can I say, already reviewing their own life before it's ended, before you pass the spirit. The earlier you can do this, the better, because you can make your life much less complicated. But unfortunately, life is life, and it will come when it's meant to come, when the time is ready, and your lessons have been learned.
So following on for that, is the saying "keep it simple, stupid" actually a positive suggestion?
It is a great saying. Keep it simple. It's all it needs to be.
Yeah. That's just an observation. I just look back and you think, why did you overcomplicate that? You learn from it.
think in the now.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
What do I need to do now?
Yeah.
Not next, just now.
I'm learning that. Okay. But is overthinking anything ever justified, in your opinion?
Overthinking has its place, especially in difficult terms. Sometimes when you've ruled out all the simple things, sometimes the overthinking will help to bring you full circle, to give you that light bulb moment, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose it's a question of degrees, isn't it? Like anything,
Yes.
trying to get the happy balance. Okay.
Start with simple. Don't start with complicated.
Okay. Good, bad, or indifferent. Can a human soul ever change their basic nature in their
Yes.
life on Earth?
They can. It might take them a while to realize it, but they can. Usually they would become broken to realize.
Okay.
Somebody that's had a tough life. Even those that you see might have all the money and the wealth, living the life, can become broken. As well as those that live on the streets.
Yeah. I can see that.
So they can change.
Okay. Thank you. What would you say should the objective be for a meaningful life on Earth?
To love, to laugh, and to enjoy.
Okay.
Don't take life too seriously. When it is time to be serious, be serious. If not, to be light.
Okay.
If it rains, you're only going to get wet. When it's sunny, it's warm. And receive the heat for the energies.
Can too much pleasure cause pain?
If it affects others, yes.
That's a good answer. I like that.
I'm sorry that was short, but
No, that's fine.
I kept it simple.
It was, yeah. And I'm stupid, yeah. finish off the saying. Um, just think where it's going now. Yeah. As a life plan is a creation, before we come back, we set a pathway and everything else. Why should we treat it seriously?
As the soul, you treat it seriously because it is part of your learning, part of your journey.
Okay.
But you're not meant to be serious. You are just meant to there to learn, to listen, to help, to love, to show all these things.
So as another way of putting it, and my words I use is go with the flow.
Yes.
Okay. I've had to tell myself throughout my life sometimes just to do that and get through it. So, and it seems to work.
If things are happening and if they are not, let's just say the negative side of life, you're fighting it and you're not getting anywhere. Sometimes you just have to, as you say, go with the flow. Just try to avoid it as best you can. But if it is meant to happen, it is meant to happen. It is when that lesson is learnt that it would become easy. So go with the flow.
Okay.
What is meant to be will be.
Okay, thank you. Again, that's another view that keeps it simple in a way. So, upon the death of a human vessel, our souls actually held back from transiting back to spirit until the human personality accepts the need to blend with the soul, so they can leave at the same time.
Yes, I will say that. That is a different way of putting it. But yes, we go, you will leave together.
Okay. Okay. For souls that have many lives on the earth plane, when they've chosen to become part of a new family on the earth, does that increase their links of family in spirit? Or are all those new family members actually part of their spirit family anyway, and friend and development groups?
Yes and yes, because some of those that come down with you in your family down here are from other family groups. They're here to learn as well.
Okay.
All family groups are of different sizes. Some are only maybe a dozen. And can be larger. So you would need others to help in that particular life, or they might need you to help in theirs on their journey.
Because I suppose what I'm trying to suggest is that some on the earth plane, you may get closer to those human souls, so that when you go back to spirit, that's another way of increasing your family size and spirit. That's probably where I'm coming from.
Yes, you are correct with that.
Okay, good. Again, why was the human vessel designed to be sexed as a male or female personality, physical and otherwise?
You would have to ask you would have to ask the Creator.
Okay.
But it depends on the complicity of the life that you are living. Many have opposites. It is one to experience when you come back, whether you want to live another life as the
Yeah.
male or the female.
Yeah.
But there are also many life forms that are one sex, as you would say.
That's what made me ask, why was the human vessel designed with both? But you've explained.
But if you wanted to live a life of, say, solitude,
Yeah.
then you would maybe pick one of those.
Okay.
Where companionship would not necessarily matter.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Do you as a spirit guide use your energy links to link with a family pet as an attempt to link the positivity or guide a loved one on the earth plane?
Yes, we can link with the energies of pets to help with the healing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah. Okay. When we take the decision to accept our family responsibilities, how can we best adopt the appropriate set of boundaries to protect our own needs?
That is just down to you as an individual.
Okay.
Because everybody is individual. But when it comes down to the family, you have the hierarchy. And what your parents have are not necessarily what you have, and what you have is not necessarily what your children have.
Yeah.
So this is just down to yourself and your own beliefs with your partners. And if you do not have family and you are living a life on your own, for whatever reason, you set your own boundaries of what you will and won't accept. There is no hard or fast rule for it. This is how I look upon it.
Okay. What do you see that most people are struggling with, searching for at this time?
They're searching for materialistic things.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
They need to be searching for peace within, happiness. They just need to learn to love one another. The world is becoming too greedy for things that are not needed within life. Yes, when I lived my Viking life, greed became a thing for land and power, but it was never for things as you have these days. People never seem to be satisfied with one thing. They want multiple things of the same thing, just to be better than somebody else.
From what you can see, is that going to ever change?
We live forever, but in a human...
I meant on the earth plane in subsequent generations.
I think eventually, yes, it will.
Yeah.
there'll be some generation that sees the light. And let's hope they do.
Good. Okay. Going back a while, a spirit who came with the name of Penny and the gatekeeper implied there was a lot going on in spirit side that needed to be managed. Have you any idea what that would actually mean to me? What would they have been referring to?
I am going to say, Neil, I do not know.
Okay.
Obviously, we are very busy.
Yeah.
We have lots to learn and lots to do,
From
which does
memories on
take which does take a lot of management
Okay.
by our guides and elders.
I think what was happening at the time, there was a suggestion they were trying to make sure they were protecting us, to make sure, let's just say, the appropriate spirits came through with the right intentions.
Do you mean into the group?
Yeah, it was into the circle that night.
Yes.
There was a bit of a delay that caused the link. But I didn't ask at the time what they meant by it. I wish I had.
I'm going to say the problem is, but it's not a problem.
Okay.
Because we all wish to come through. When there are only a few that can speak,
Yeah.
the order changes.
Okay.
And it also depends on the energy of, like Adrian.
Yeah, agreed.
So as I wished to come through a few weeks ago, his energy was low.
Yeah.
So Ethos had to, say, manage us in order to get somebody to come through that was able to blend with him more easily for his energy level.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Whereas this week, the energy was right.
Yeah.
For us to come through, to allow me to come through this evening.
Are you enjoying your experience of coming through, Adrian?
Yes, we always enjoy coming through.
How would you describe that experience to me? Or isn't that possible?
It is something that we all wish to do. It's like having another, how can I say? It's like having your grandchildren, but then handing them back. It's like we can connect with him and speak with you through a vessel without needing one ourselves.
Okay.
We get to feel what he feels. We can access his memories at the time and take them back. It is something that helps us learn again from not having a life and being in spirit.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but this is why there's so many that wish to come through. When we guide you, it is different. We just connect with the link, but it is not close or as close as when we come through like
I
this.
suppose I'm trying to get my mind around what the experience of linking in this manner brings to you, not what brings to us. You know, we find it enlightening completely and wonderful, but
It is the same for us. It is just that it's doing something that you've not done before.
okay.
In this way.
Okay.
It is unusual. It is quite rare. As much as you see groups around the planet,
Yeah.
quite a lot of them will only have one spirit that will come through them, or two or three. But Adrian doesn't. He doesn't want to say, as much as he might say, we know he says that he wishes he just had the same regular, shall we say.
All right.
He doesn't stop anybody coming through. So it gives us all a chance.
Yeah.
And it makes it different for you as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But maybe when some of you, or you'll get a few more in the group of an evening,
Yeah, well, hopefully,
or fully better, maybe
yeah.
some of us can come through one of you guys.
We've had it a few times, but not many. It depends on our numbers, doesn't it? So hopefully
So
our low numbers won't stop you coming through. Because
it just restricts on how many of us can come through.
agreed. Yeah.
Which is where the management comes in.
Yeah.
Because then we argue between ourselves on whose turn it is.
Yeah.
Not in a horrible way.
No, I understand that. A little bit of competition is maybe good.
Yeah. We're like children when the sweet packet is first opened.
Without the sweets, then. Okay.
Yeah, who's going first?
I'm back on that now. I'll eat the sweets for you. So there you go.
Okay.
Again, a bit of a change. Are there any underground societies living inside the earth? That's one of our controversies that we hear about. If you can answer it.
I'm going to say I've heard of this, but not 100% know this.
Okay. Okay, as humans, I'll leave you on that one. As humans, can we get too much sleep?
Yes. Life is for living, not for sleeping.
Okay.
But you do need your rests. The body needs to heal. Too much sleep does not help the mind.
Okay. Again, a bit unusual, but can using words that others don't understand be counterproductive? Or is there method in people's madness when they do it? You know, is there a hidden agenda?
If you do not know, if you know the person you're talking to does not understand you with words you use, this is not the way to go. If you are trying to make that person feel small or inadequate, this is wrong. If you do not know the person and you are using words they do not understand, then you would not know this. If you are trying to teach somebody that you know doesn't understand you, to trigger them to ask the question, what does that mean? Then yes,
Okay.
that would be productive.
Yeah.
To help learn, to teach. But do not do this to belittle.
No. Okay.
If you do not mind, I will have to be leaving you.
No, I'm just thankful. Thank you for staying so long.
I thank you for letting me join you all this evening.
Yeah.
And I bid you a farewell.
And lovely to talk with you. Thank you.
And to you all as well.
You know,
Take care.
Have a safe journey back.
I will do.
Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides and for the additional advisors that have joined us here today to give us the benefit of their wisdom. Thank you so much for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. We look forward to linking up again with you next time. Before we close the link, we hope you don't mind us spending a few minutes of our time exploring our personal direct links with Spirit. 2 to 3 minutes, everyone, before I call you back into the room. Time now to refocus on your crown chakras, please. And as and when you have, close it down to break your link with Spirit. Move any residual energy you don't need down from your crown chakra to your brow chakra, onto your throat chakra, then to your heart chakra, further down to your solar plexus chakra and onto your sacral chakra, and then down to your root chakra. Allow this surplus energy to move down through your legs and body to your feet, and ground yourself on Mother Earth, please. When you are sufficiently grounded and in your own time, gently and slowly bring your attention back into the room.